We love stories about South African startups and game design hubs that are rocking the world in their own special way. And this next story ticks all the boxes for us. Let's find out about a little game called BroForce that's punching above its weight in the indie gaming circles.
At the most southern tip of Africa, vigorously grafting away in Cape Town, is a game development studio that is causing a major stir internationally with a little game called BroForce. The success already being established in the industry by the South African produced game sends a loud message to other developers locally and most importantly to the gaming community globally that we're here and we've got what it takes. Started in April 2012, Free Lives began turning the wheels on BroForce, a side-scrolling shooter genetically similar to Metal Slug and Contra, but with clear Spelunky inspiration. It pays homage to old-school games and will get those who long for that aesthetic back into games very excited.
This crazy idea came from me and Jared sitting in the office talking about the Rambo films, and we thought these films were absolutely super cool, but it made sense that he was a bro, and so we were kind of going Rambro, and they're like, oh wait, we can go Command Bro or Bromando, and this just seemed like such a good pun that we had to make a game about it. And so we did. There was this jam game over a weekend. We jammed out this idea, and it turned out to be fun. Since then, the response we've gotten, we've just said, hey, we could just make this a little cooler, make this a little bigger, and it's taken us to this point.
The game has seen its fair share of internet hype and success, being extremely popular with indie game fanatics on Steam's Greenlight, and seeing even the likes of Yogscast do a couple of Let's Plays on their extremely popular YouTube channel.
So one of the challenges is that we're in a totally different time zone in the corner of a continent that very few game developers are in. So we're forced to work with each other, which isn't exactly, that's the good part of it. Like we have a community and we work together and try to help each other make games. At the same time, it is becoming a lot easier making games from South Africa. With YouTube, it's totally international. As soon as we released a bit of BroForce, there were YouTubers playing our game all over the world, especially in France. And that's kind of, so there's a lot of these boundaries that have been broken down in recent years, and it's far more viable now, but it's still tougher doing it here than I would say it probably is if you were in Canada inside Ubisoft's building.
Old school video games aren't the only thing it pays homage to. 80s and 90s action movies are extremely inspirational, with clear emphasis that BroForce is a love letter to these heroes of old.
So when we started BroForce, we assumed that we would be approached by teams of angry lawyers from film companies. So the first thing we did before we started throwing any money into this was we spoke to Nick, the Make Games South Africa lawyer, asked him, is this parody, is this safe? Can we get away with this? And he said, yes, you know, obviously you're using a lot of intellectual property here, but it's clearly parody, so you're okay. So we did that first and then went ahead, but we in fact have been approached by some film companies, and in fact their response has been like, your game is actually cool, rather than we want you to stop because we're angry about like the fact that too many terrorists die in this game, or Rambo's more strong than he actually is in the movies and you're making us look bad. When you feel like you're 3 months away from the end of a project, you can ask the guys from QC if they were 3 months away from the end of Desktop Dungeons for about 2.5 years. So hopefully we're not in that situation, but it is impossible to predict how long this is going to take, because we're not after finishing it at a specific time. What we're after is making the best product that we can with the resources that we have.
A clever idea and simple execution can mean the difference between a game being successful or falling into the pit of irrelevancy. Fortunately for this team of developers, their title is set for major critical acclaim, and like the developers that have gone before them, will pave the way for future local developers to achieve similar success.